So after some crazy travel, missed a few flights, freak thunderstorm, I'm finally in Leon, Mexico to judge the Concours Mondial. Red and white session, there's gonna be 7,500 wines. I'm on jury 3. I'm gonna give you an inside look of what it's like to be in a competition, interview some of my longtime friends. Let's have some fun. Jeff, he was the former editor at Wine Enthusiast, now the wine editor at Rab Report. He's also a Concours Mondial veteran, so why do you like this competition?
I love the Concours Mondial because I get to see people I've known for the last 9 or 10 years. It's like a big family. And what's really cool to me is that as an American, I taste, and you as an American, we taste a little bit differently than, French or Spanish. So one of my complaints whenever I meet Italian winemakers or French winemakers is they only know Italian wine or French wine.
Yeah.
As Americans, of course we know American wine from Napa, but we get experience in tasting wine from all around the world.
Do you think that consumers can really trust competitions?
Absolutely. And I've been with the Concours, like I said, for almost a decade. And I can't tell you how many friends come up to me and say, oh, when I go to the wine shop and I see that little label, that gold label or silver label, I know that it's a good wine. And that happened even before I was with the Concours.
Of course, the biggest, the one we are here today, for red and white.
So usually how competitions start, you're gonna have 2 calibration wines, a red, a white. Everybody in the entire room tastes the same wine, so you have an idea of where the scoring is, where your panel is, and where the whole competition is. The first calibration wine for us was a Mexican Syrah, which I thought was pretty darn good. Not all competitions do this, but at Concours Mondial, they stick the same wine in, same flight, so they can track how good of a taster you are. Then you get a report at the end. Concours Mondial here, you have a silver, a gold, and a grand gold medal. Grand gold is gonna be the best of the best, and it's gonna be the rarest. Finished up a flight of reds. In a lot of competitions, when you see the score sheets, you're gonna see a lot of different factors, like you're going to score for appearance, color, all that kind of stuff. You have to score quickly, so usually I score for the medal, and I don't give individual scores to all those different characteristics, because if you do, your scores will be all over the place. For example, if you think deserve it of a gold medal, I score in the range of a gold medal. In this competition, 87 is the baseline. If I think it's a better gold, I want to make sure that it's going to get gold, like maybe give 89, 90, or a little bit more. How was the flight from Moldova?
Not so short, 24 hours. But with some jet lag, but with some beer and wine in the airports, I will pass.
I see Andre all around the wine circuit, judging a lot. Why do you love judging in wine competitions?
Because it's a nice experience, tasting blind wine, to have an experience with different colleagues from all over the world, to have a change of this knowledge and to taste something new.
You're scaring me because you're being a little too serious.
Yeah. I'm do the work now. I don't drink the wine.
Okay. Do you think that people can really trust wine competitions when they see medals on the bottle?
Concours Mondial de Bruxelles, it's a very big competition, well known all over the world. Yes, so they should trust.
I actually think that the trust depends on the quality of wines and the quality of competition too. So you think CMB, the quality is higher than you judge a lot than a lot of other competitions?
Yes, I judge a lot indeed. I'm doing 6 or 7 competitions a year. Yes, CMB is one of the highest quality and very nice wines.
And by the way, this video is not sponsored. I just wanted to put it together because I know before I started judging in competitions, I really wanted to see what the whole process looked like. Finish up with the first day. We got the wine puffs going on. We're all puffy and we got red teeth. How was your first time at Concours Mondial?
Okay, first impressions, loved it. Super excited. I had fun. Like literally, had fun. Like this was awesome. Also intimidated but I asked for seconds of a couple wines, and I think I was on par. Like I think I was correct. I approach it as a consumer, as a writer, and as a winemaker. As a winemaker, there were some that I was like, oh my God, hot ferment. Like, fuck, what happened there? Like,
No, you can say it.
okay. Like that was a hot ferment, not okay. And then there were others that was like, okay, that was like, as a consumer, I'd drink that, fine. As a writer, I'd have critiques. As a winemaker, I'm like,
CMB needs to thank the awesome person that recommended you, right?
You.
This crazy guy from Denmark was my panel chair at the rosé competition a few months ago. He's like a big YouTube star in Denmark. I gotta ask you, what do I need to do to improve? You gotta give me tips.
I think you're doing great. Continue what you do, yeah. Maybe you'll be a chairman one day.
Maybe, fingers crossed. What do I gotta do to become a chairman? Do I gotta kiss some butts?
I don't know. You try it?
How was the first time in Mexico and tasting here?
It was great. You know, always need to get together and find each other. I think we did that, and we had an amazing tasting.
I'm pumped to open those white burgundies later.
Me as well.
I judge about 6 to 7 competitions a year, and I tend to find that judges are usually consistent when it comes to fresh white wines, but red wines, it's all over the place because some people like oak, some people like acidity, some people like things like volatile acidity, some people like things like Brett, the thing that gives you the stinky armpit or the kind of the horse saddle leather feel. It's all about preference, and that's why there's a lot of judges. In theory, everything's supposed to even out. Since Katie's a winemaker, they judge a lot differently than writers, media, consumers, especially when it comes to fault, like Brett.
Many people don't like bread, but sometimes I like, and sometimes I find in Georgian wines, for me, it's very nice. It's typical for red wines, yes? It's when you produce in oak and aging oak, it's normal, but more people cannot understand this one.
Ah, so you're okay with it, but in competitions you score wines down with Brett because you think people won't like it.
Yes, of course. For me, it's not a reason to write a low score because sometimes it's really the style.
Oh, okay. So you learn things about friends all the time. The city of Guanajuato was approved as a UNESCO World Heritage City in 1988. It's as colorful as it is beautiful. Usually during wine competitions, there are side trips to wine regions or meals with producers. Because of my missed flight, I wasn't able to attend the trip through wine country on the first day. But with a city like this, I'm not complaining. We end the day with a gala dinner and performances that run well into the night. My good Venetian friend, see you all over the place. First of all, why you follow me all around the world?
But just because I'm having fun.
We're always on trips together. Do you prefer going to the vineyards tasting when we're on press trips, or do you like doing competitions better?
Well, let's say that I would prefer better to be in the vineyard and to do competition in the vineyard. I would say it's the best place.
What do you like about the competition so far, Concours Mondial versus other ones?
It's always interesting, first of all, because you have all these judges coming from all around the world, which means that you meet a lot of people, you have fun, and in the private moments, and at the same time, it's very focused in the tasting moment.
I just met Rafael. I bet you're the youngest person here, which is great because the wine world needs younger people. So how was your first day here?
Oh, it's been so great. I feel so lucky to be here. I love that I get to represent my generation and bring in new conversations into the mix. I think it's super great that we're here in Mexico.
What was the most stressful or the hardest thing about judging for the first time?
I think, I got, for my second flight, some heavy reds. So I think preparing myself for what's to come is a good little tip of advice or piece of advice for myself next time. I think it's just the pace of everything, the spread of everything that you're tasting. I mean, we had some regions that were, completely new to the wine world. The fact that you get to see a very wide range, even within a country flight, is really cool.
Started the second day. What I like about Concours Mondial, right after the tasting session is over, you get all the wines with the scores and what you gave. Flight of Georgian wines, Katie on the panel. Campania, which I was just at last week. A Falerno del Masico, really good score. Home of the ancient Roman wine Falernian. The last flight was Fronsac for Bordeaux. You hear it on the channel. I scream about the value that Fronsac gives, right bank of Bordeaux, based on Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and there were some excellent wines. Those of you that follow the channel know that I love Mexican wines. I actually lived in Baja, California for 3 months. And since we're in Mexico and Luis is a distributor of Mexican wines, I want you to tell me, How has Mexican wine changed? Because it's been a long time since I've been there.
Mexico has a short history in wine, but it has been growing a lot. So at the beginning, there were just 3 main regions that were manufacturing producing wine. Now we have almost 17. And the consumption, the per capita consumption in Mexico of wine has been growing in the last 10 years from 0.25 milliliters to 1.2 liters. But there are many good projects with very good quality have been competing worldwide, like in this contest, and gaining a lot of rewards and all that. So it's a challenging but growing market in Mexico.
The ones we've tasted have been pretty good, and I remember the better ones were bigger, bolder, and sometimes weird blends like Zinfandel, Cab, Merlot, Tempranillo. Is it still the case? Is that still happening?
Yeah, still happens because Mexico, the thing is there are a lot of, let's say, wineries, but there's not a lot of grape owners. So you will find very different mixes because sometimes the wineries or the manufacturers buy what they can get.
Are you happy with the quality? How it's improving?
Depends on the region. You lived in Ensenada, Valle de Guadalupe and all that. It's long history as well as Parras, that is, well, the oldest region that we have. But we have many new regions like the one that we are right now in Guanajuato. Those new regions are still in this working process with very short age, let's say, plants that are still needing to grow.
I'm not exaggerating, one of the best palates I've ever tasted with. You've been at Concours Mondial for a long time. Why do you like to keep coming back to this competition?
Well, at first because they travel every year for another place, so I love to travel and it's very good. And second, because of my friends, I have really good friends here at the Concours Mondial de Bruxelles. And then the third place because of the wines, because of the evaluation.
Do you think that the jury really makes a difference in terms of how the wines are scored and what medals they're getting?
Well, yes. We are 350 members. You never know. It's a bit tricky that what kind of jury members do you have. So at one table, you can have a very nice jury. It means that in the end, you will have some really good points. But
there he is.
But in other case, it can be complicated.
Never in my life have I had a flight in a competition where every wine got a gold medal. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. I do think it's Chianti, but we'll see. Okay, no, it's Rioja. Overall, the quality was outstanding. A lot of good producers. Go Rioja. Great value for money. The side trip on day 2 starts with a local village tour, complete with the refreshments. It's lunchtime, but I'm distracted. I'm gonna stop judging wine and just judge mojitos from now on. A flauta stuffed with hibiscus, guacamole, and dried beef. We're having a blast and are serenaded by a local performance, but I'm stuck on the poblano sauce. The music is good, but the poblano sauce, oh my god, so good. Sweet, spicy. Oh my god. After dessert, I'm offered a treat from an Italian judge. Smoking Tuscan cigars in Mexico. After judging a flight of Romanian wines, I might add. So worldly. I'm not joking. That was one of the best press trip competitions, little side trips, in a long time. Third final day, a little tired. I'm with my good friend Elise, met in Italy of all places, where she works for a distributor. So it's a unique angle. I think tasting, when you're in these groups, tasting with enologists, distributors, and writers, media is a little bit different. Do you feel like you taste a little bit differently than everybody else, or do you notice?
I try to be as thorough as possible. I do have sommelier training, so I feel that I taste in the way that I was taught, but everybody's a little bit different in their tasting, and everyone has different viewpoints, depending on where they come from, who they talk to, and who is actually drinking the wine.
This is your first year at Concours Mondial. How do you like it?
The wines that we have judged in the competition have been of really very good quality.
You're one of the most helpful people to me ever in the wine industry, but you've never recommended me for this competition. Why not?
You never asked. That's the reason, probably.
You don't judge that much anymore because you're busy with business stuff, but you still come here every year. Why is that?
Well, Concours Mondial give me opportunity to travel around the world and to experience wine regions of the world. That's unique opportunity, actually. I travel a lot without this competition, but still This competition brings me in the regions which I never visited before. So it's open-minded, open eyes for wine lover or wine expert as me.
We would like to show you the next destination of the Concours Mondial Bruxelles.
At the geometric center of the Chinese mainland, and the construction of the world capital of wine is your initial results.
Since Concours Mondial is a traveling competition, next edition is in Ningxia in China. Probably the premier wine growing region in China. Hope to see you there. Well, third day was exciting because we found out that the next Concours Mondial is in China. My last flight, I thought it was Chilean Carmenere, and what do you know? It was Chinese Cabernet Sauvignon. But I gave some good scores. Concours Mondial is usually European-centric, but I at least have an American here with me, Jamie.
Yes.
Are we going to take over China?
I think we're going to. I think China, look out, here we come.
Usually in these competitions, there are very few Americans. Do you feel like you taste a little bit differently than other Europeans?
I think sometimes Americans are used to bigger wines and used to maybe a little more fruit quality. So I think that can be a difference. But I think, I mean, my panel, we were really pretty spot on. We kind of all had the same taste this year. So yeah, it was great.
See you in Ningxia.
I'm ready. China, here we come.